Welcome to the second episode of the Warriors Way podcast. Today we're here with Lavar Jacobs of the Kim Jacobs Resource Center, which is ironically across the street from Kenny Lambert, but just a dad from Akron. And today, this is actually how I met Kenny, is we did an event with Lavar here in the Resource Center in October. And then I'd always seen pictures of Kenny, but I never knew who he was. And then it's amazing what community does.
Right.
So without further ado, let's introduce Lavar Jacobs. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Lavar Jacobs Sr. I'm a father of three. I'm an Akron native. Well, my full-time job, I drive a city bus. Awesome. But I also have a passion. I started an organization called Not Just October, based upon my mother passing away from breast cancer in 2009. So in 2014, I started my organization. And since then, we've been having events, been assisting families financially dealing with hardships due to breast cancer, providing services for women who are battling breast cancer. Pretty much anything a woman may need, we can provide it. I just, go out into the community and people find me and we find all the women who are battling and, we take care of everything. And I'm also I run the Kim Jacobs Breast Cancer Resource Center, named after my mom. It's on Kim Moore Boulevard. And I'm also a husband to a wonderful wife. That's me.
True. Fact check that. Yeah, so you got all that information. He did that pretty well, better than I ever would have. So I actually met Lavar, let's back up a little bit, just through an Instagram post, I'm pretty sure. Because I saw he's got a little Chevy Spark that's wrapped with the Not Just October nonprofit logos and everything, and it's all pink. It's really cool. You've probably seen it in some of the pictures and videos I've posted. But I was like, holy smokes. Like, I have a detail shop. I need to reach out to this guy. I need to help him out. he's too busy focusing on helping everybody else out. So it's just one of those things, like, if you back up the person who's helping other people out, it just becomes a snowball effect, and it's great community and what have you. So this started based off of your mother, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, was there a preparation for the nonprofit at all, or is it just one of those things that kind of clicked after losing her, that you're like, you know what, I need to pay this forward to the community because I know she would want me to do something like that?
Well, it really started from going to breast cancer walks. Okay. Like they have the American Cancer Society walk, the Susan G. Komen walk, and, raising money for those organizations, going to the walk, getting my friends together and things like that. That was a way that I paid tribute to my mom. But then, I always had the idea in the back of my head after my mom passed away that I wanted to do something. So after my marriage and, things were a little more stable, I got my job, had a little extra finances. It was just time to start my organization. So I was just driving my bus and thinking about what I wanted to name my organization, how I wanted to run it and everything. And it all just kept coming to me, and the name was available, and it was available on Instagram, and
right.
It all started with an Instagram post. A good friend of mine helped me get my first set of wristbands, and that's how it started, giving our wristbands to all my friends. I know a lot of people in the city, and I get a lot of support, and I'm very thankful for that. It all started with wristbands, and now here we are in the Kim Jacobs Breast Cancer Resource Center.
That's crazy to think about. Because you know how this started?
How?
So this was originally called God's Warriors Unite back in 2014. I wasn't doing podcasts or anything like that, but it was all fitness apparel based.
Oh, okay.
With Instagram. I got on there the same way you did, typed it in, hoping it was still a thing, and I was like, oh shoot, it works. And my first thing I did was I got these wristbands.
Okay.
But I got them. They were like a marbled blue and purple were the original colors. Mm-hmm. And it had glow in the dark writing.
Right.
That way, my goal was while you're sleeping at night, you can remember you're still inspired by God and everything like that.
That's amazing.
So if you were to pull it out and be like, oh shoot, you know what? Now your brain's thinking again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy how something so little like that can inspire one to this.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so surreal when you're like, holy smokes. It's I literally just try to make a difference in even the smallest way for a lot of people. Now it's making a massive difference.
Yeah.
In the biggest way for a whole community.
When I come in here and as soon as I put that key in, sometimes I just have to step back and just think it all just started with an idea.
Yeah.
Just an idea, and I just kept going. And I'm very, very, very just focused on helping as many women as possible. So that's what I put a lot of my attention into, just trying to figure out what they need. And I remember the things that my mom needed when she was battling, and that's, the platform of the organization. Because I remember, us needing to get our grass cut or our driveway plowed and things like that. And those are the services that I provide.
It's awesome. You should probably have an app made for this.
Yeah, I would love to. You got an app guy?
We can look.
You seem like you got a lot of guys.
I got a lot of ideas. The problem is needing all the guys that put them together. But I think that would be cool. Like, imagine that. Like, people who come in here or women that you've helped before, they can all have, like, a community within an app. So, like, they're talking to each other and figuring out problems and stuff.
Well, that's interesting you say that. It's not app-based, but there's a woman named Adriana. She's actually battling right now.
Oh, wow.
But she started her own, basically, culture for breast cancer. So she's going to have bi-weekly meetings with other women who are currently battling at the same time.
Right.
And she's Akron-based. And we had a couple meetings, and we decided that she's going to have those meetings here. So that's amazing, because I've seen personally how it works when one woman who's battling meets another woman who's battling. They really become friends because they have these conversations, and it's interesting to even watch, because the one person will say what doctor they go to, and then they'll be like, I heard about that doctor, and just all of that. It's amazing. So I'm just happy to be, the glue in this community.
I think that's the most important part too, is sometimes people don't realize that there is really no reward for gluing these things together like that. Like, shout out to you, Adriana, for doing that. That's awesome. You got to get a little recognition for that. But like, when you bring people together that are either facing the same problem or even trying to do the same positive action, it's amazing even the ideas that can flow out of that. Right. Because we can sit at home and, like, in our anxiety, we'll be like, man, I don't know if anyone's going to appreciate this. I don't know if they're going to understand me. Like, what I'm thinking in my head may sound totally ludicrous to a lot of people. And then you meet and you start talking, and then it's all gravy from there.
Sometimes you got to get out of your own head and just go for it when you have an idea. Right. So I'm very happy that Adriana contacted me and we met, and now we're about to do something great together.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know you said that when you put the key in the door here, that was like one of the moments that were so surreal. You're like, wow, this is like happening. Right. Is there any other pinnacle moments that you remember that you were just flabbergasted and you had this thought just stop you in your tracks, and you were like, you know what?
There's so many, because it's just like we've gotten amazing press and things like that. For instance, being on the Steve Harvey show, going to Los Angeles, and just laying there in my hotel room that the Steve Harvey show provided, and provided the flights and everything. And it's just like me, just because I want to help people, all under my mom's umbrella, you know what I mean? And it's always crazy. Or just being here at the walk, seeing 200 plus people that support this vision and this mission and these women, and that it all just means so much to me. So I always try and live in the moment. That's one thing that I always try to do, because it's easy to get caught up in the, daily life and just keeping going. But I like to just live in the moment and just think, like, all of this is just because my mom passed away from breast cancer. This is why I started this. Whenever I go to, like, speaking engagements and things, I always say it's just kind of messed up that my mom had to pass away for me to find my purpose in life. Because, I didn't know exactly what I would be doing. I've always been outgoing and things like that, and a people person, but I didn't know exactly how I would use it. And her passing away, it led to me starting this organization. And, like, the moments that you asked me about, I have them all the time, because it's always something. It's just always, it's great.
All right. And I preface that for a reason. And I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I knew he was going to say that. So, and that's why I wanted to bring, I don't know how spiritual you are and whatnot, but I feel your spirit. So I know there's definitely some morality there. But I feel like when you think about that, like if she were alive today, and I feel like she still is, because this is her Like, this is her energy breathing through life. Whether she may not be here in the physical, but there is no absence of your mother anymore.
Right.
Like, you're living a legacy, and she's forever going to be impacting and affecting people. I mean, if you're doing the front work, she's doing the back work. So you're still a team.
Definitely.
And, like, a lot of people have a hard time seeing that because they're always like, oh, I got to see it to believe it kind of thing. But she's very real, and she's very still alive.
Right.
Like, I think that's awesome. And you get to wake up every morning and go to bed every night knowing that.
Yes, it's a beautiful thing.
And it's hard to wrap around your head a lot of times because you spend so much time doing the groundwork, busting your ass day in and day out, that when you have those moments, it's like, it's not even work anymore. It's just magic in the making. And now people are having their lives saved and helped on a daily basis. And your mother's just whispering in your ear the whole time.
That's who's giving me the ideas. I always say, and that's who's pulling the strings and making stuff happen. My mom and God are up there like, hey, let's do this or let's do that. So I already know I have anytime somebody like that I know, if they have someone that passes away close to them, I just always explain to them, like, you got the best possible angel in the world up in heaven pulling strings for you. Like, that's the best one.
It's almost like they're up there playing a game of horse, and whoever wins gets to give Lavar the next idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just enjoying making an impact and being able to help people, and even people who aren't battling breast cancer, so to say. I feel like I'm inspiring a lot of people to chase their dreams, no matter what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I back that up with everything that I believe in. So you mentioned the Steve Harvey Show, and I know for a lot of people that's like the mecca. And I know you care more about this than just being on a TV show. Right. But we're going to highlight it anyways because that's still super cool, especially with the fact that Steve's from Cleveland. Yeah. Which is like crazy to think about. So touch a little bit on that, how it got set up and how that manifested. And
well, how I got set up, I have an amazing. Well, she started out as a publicist. That was her thing, just the media. But, you know, as our relationship has grown, her name is Ariel. But as our relationship has grown on the business side, she's everything to Not Just October. Like, that's who you talk to set this up. Like, like she's my boss, basically. And so she pitches me to different, you know, publications and shows and things like that. And that's awesome. We just got through with the Steve Harvey Show. And I remember this is so interesting. So at the beginning of the whole process with the Steve Harvey Show, I had to do an interview with one of the producers. So it was a FaceTime interview. Wow. I was at home and I tried to do it at my house, but I didn't have Wi-Fi at the time. So I'm doing it, but it keeps freezing. It's all messed up. It's like, this is like one of those stories, like one of those, like, you know, those heartfelt stories. So it keeps freezing up, and I tell her, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Right. I have to go get into some Wi-Fi. So I went to McDonald's down the street, got on the Wi-Fi, did the interview. It went great. About a week later, she called Ariel and let her know that I got booked for the show. And then they sent me all the information to get on the flight and the hotel. And this was the first time I've ever gotten to the airport and somebody was there with a sign with my name. Really? Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, it was very nice. It was a nice hotel. It was a very, very just good experience. And when it comes to Not Just October, like you said, it's not about being on TV or anything like that or being famous. But based on the mission that I have, the more people that I, you know, am in front of, the more people I'll be able to help. Like, for instance, the day that the Steve Harvey Show aired, people donated to Not Just October from all over the United States. People called my phone all day from all over the United States, just wanting to talk about Not Just October. And I've done things for women that live in different states just because I met them based upon the Steve Harvey Show and these other publications and things like that. So I want all the press so that I can help all the people. That's like, let's just keep going. So shout out to Ariel. She's still working for me and, well, with me. Working for me with me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So she's amazing. And we're just, you know, trying to help as many women as possible. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's cool. She's actually very, very structured in the way she, like, emailed me back and forth. I was almost, like, shaking in my boots. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to interview a friend that I know.
Man.
It was so good. I'm like, all right. But she was very pleasant.
I have to do it like that. She doesn't let me talk to anybody. Like, if I just did it all on my own, she'd be like, homeboy. She'd be like, homeboy. You gotta, there has to be, like you said, a structure to all of it. So I appreciate her very much.
Yeah. It'd probably be super easy to lose your focus, too, if you were still doing all that, too.
Yeah.
So that's probably for the best. Shout out to the MVP.
Yeah, definitely the MVP.
So, like, while you were on the show, like, is there anything that he said to you or anything that stuck out that made you empathize with him on, like, a level of charity, so to speak?
Well, it wasn't really to empathize on a level of charity, but after we recorded everything, I got to sit with him for about 5 minutes and talk, and he was just telling me about how he is from Cleveland and all that.
Nice.
And then he was asking me, like, what's next? And I was explaining to him this, but it was just an idea at the time.
Right.
Like, I explained the Kim Jacobs Breast Cancer Resource Center. And he was like, he already knows I'm going to do it, and he told me that my mom is proud of me. And, like, that was that. So, he's a nice guy for sure.
Steve, if you ever see this, I don't know what the odds are, but the next time you're in Ohio, you need to come here. You need to visit the Kim Jacobs Resource Center. I think you have a magnificent time. I mean, people. I don't know if a lot of people know that, like, Steve Harvey is a super motivational, inspirational guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, aside from Kings of Comedy and, like, movies and stuff like that, and TV shows, like, some of the things that he says, like, I've shared this one video a bazillion times every time it pops up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his words are so impactful, and I don't know if a lot of people know that.
Yeah, he's a very inspirational person. Like, I've listened to his interviews talking about sleeping in his car and stuff like that. But just another person in the world just showing you got to keep going and chase the dreams. Like, even when you can't see it, you gotta really just keep going for it.
And I think, like, that's a valuable teaching too, not even just for, like, a business or anything like that, but, like, for personal growth. Because, like, a lot of people get in these deep depressions and slumbers, and they can't come out of it because they have this idea in their head that if there's not something visual that they can grab onto, or use someone else to latch onto theirs, that they can't find that inner motivation. And I think, in my perspective, like, if you can get around people like Lavar or Kenny across the street, some of these people that are very focused on bringing community together, that in an action will bring you out of your slump naturally. It's almost one of those things that you can't put words to, because it's so strong that you're building that. Like I said this with Kenny, like, it's not the size of your circle, but it's the amount of camaraderie inside the circle that you already have.
Definitely. It's just I'm just super motivated. Like, I can't even explain my level of motivation, and I'll put everything on the line for what I want to do. Like, I've spent my last to make sure that this works several times. And I do not mind doing it because I know what I'm about to do and the level that I'm about to take all of this to. Like, I'm not scared of, really just putting myself out there. Like, I believe in it so much, and what I'm doing is so important. So I'm just so motivated and just focused, and I'm not afraid. I don't have any fear when it comes to Not Just October because I already know what it's about to be. Like, there's no stopping it. I promise I'll spend my last today if I have to make sure that this works. My wife knows it. Like, everybody knows it. I'm not afraid. And I've done this before, and it's worked. It's working out. Right now, we're doing well. It's going well. And I'm blessed and just happy to be able to make a difference. And I know this is only the beginning. This isn't the last Kim Jacobs Breast Cancer Resource Center. Nope. It's just the first one. Like,
number one.
That's not the last awareness mobile outside. Like, that's just the first one.
It's gonna be a fleet across the nation. We're gonna be picking Steve Harvey up in a pink Suburban. Just wait for it.
Hey, maybe. I'm just ready for whatever comes my way with this.
That's awesome. I'm almost in like I had chills when you just gave that little speech right there, because like that whole no fear thing. Like, I know there's gonna be some people that'll look at that and be like, man, that guy's got an ego. But, like, that's totally not what it is at all. Like, if you could define confidence without using words, like this man's energy literally just did that.
Appreciate
there
that.
is no ego there. You might have to have a little bit of ego and a little bit of drive, but that's 99.9% confidence in your passion and your motivation and what really gets you going at night. And like that's inspiring right there, seeing that happen.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm just I gotta make it happen, and I know I will. It's just, right. I just need the opportunities, and they're gonna keep coming.
Right. I just saw this meme the other day that said, if you're going through hell, why would you stop there?
Right.
Which, it's like a perfect analogy for even what you're doing. It's like, this is just number one.
Yes.
There's going to be tables like this in every state.
Definitely.
That would be absolutely crazy. But it's super believable.
It's close. You just told me about your friends building wells in African countries. 15 of them.
Shout
building
out
schools.
To We Are the Ripple.
That guy had a dream, and he's making it happen. Kenny had a dream. He's making it happen. You had a dream. You're making it happen. That's all it's about. We just saw it working. Yeah,
it's amazing. Just how it all comes in fruition. Like you're working hard every single day, then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, whoa. But so some of the points of this interview and podcast is to talk about the words empower, inspire, unite, which are like the formative definition of why I do this. So like in your personal life and with Not Just October, what do you think empowers other people the most? Like if you were to go out today and try to empower people, like what is in your heart that really makes you gravitate towards doing that?
Wait, what's in my heart that makes me want to empower people?
Right.
Well, I understand not feeling powerful, and I definitely understand what women are going through that are battling breast cancer. It's the most demeaning, hardest thing that they're going to go through. Like imagine getting a surgery to remove your whole breast. You don't feel beautiful at that time. So my goal is to make you feel amazing, to make you happy. You need a wig. Do you want your makeup done? Do you want a massage? What do you need? And I do these things for women, and they cry all the time, like tears of joy on the regular. And I'm blessed to have these amazing children that I have looking up to me. Like kids know things early. Like my 2-year-old, he comes in here, he knows this is what it is. He says he calls it my center. So when I'm dropping him off at daycare, sometimes he cries like, no, I don't want to go here. I want to go to your center. I want to go to this center. And I show him my mom's pictures all the time, so he knows that that's grandma. He understands it. My 13-year-old, he helps me. He volunteers. He's covered in Not Just October apparel. He knows what this is about. He sees all of the hard work that I put into it. And kids are always watching. He sees me go to work every day. He sees me put on my uniform and go to work. I just want to be a positive impact in the lives of my children and every single other person that I come in contact with. So I think that is empowering.
Totally agree. And I think you hit the hammer on the head with the kids know and watch everything you do kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They pick up on that. Coming from a broken home like myself, I think that's so valuable. If you can provide a structure for children, they're our future. No matter how you look at it, one way or the other.
Definitely.
If they can catch on at age 1 instead of 16, the things that they can do from 1 to 16 is astronomical.
Right.
One day little LJ is going to walk up to you and be like, Dad, guess what I just did? And it's going to blow your mind because it helps the community, it helps the resource center.
Yeah.
So, it's almost unfathomable what a great mindset of conditioning can do for a kid.
Definitely. For sure.
And you're providing an exceptional environment for that.
That's the goal.
100%. So, when it comes to inspiration, and everything kind of goes hand in hand. Mm-hmm. But what do you think what do these words mean to you is mostly what we're getting at. Okay. So when you think about the word inspire, what really just grabs you and this is it?
Really, the word inspire, that's kind of what I live my life by, because my goal is to be an inspiration. Like, I want people to look at me and say, wow, if he can do it, I know I can do it. Or if like whatever resources I've had, I've given them to people. I want I want to inspire anybody to be their best person in any way. It doesn't have to be a breast cancer nonprofit organization. If I can inspire you to clean cars the best today, like, please detail them the best from that inspiration. If I can inspire a child to go and get good grades, that's what I want to do. Like, I like being a positive, same thing as empower. I just want to be a positive person in the lives of everyone I come in contact with. I want to inspire the nation. At the end of when all this is said and done, my mom's going to have the statues, parks, streets, all of that, all over the country. Like, that's what it's about. And I want to inspire for real.
Yeah, you're the walking inspiration behind all of this.
That's a shirt. Yeah. Walking inspiration.
Shh, don't take that, Kenny. That's the bar's next shirt.
It's a collab. We can do it together, Kenny.
There you go. So I would ask you what Unite is, but your resource center is that. I mean, you have events. Everything you do is uniting people from day in and day out. So that pretty much concludes, everything. Oh, he's putting that one on. So, my last message all the time is, with this in the Warriors way, and he kind of touched on it too, you never know who's watching you at any given moment. So if you're living and striving the best that you can be every single day, someone's going to catch on to that, and your worst day may literally be someone's biggest inspiration. I know it's hard to think about that sometimes, but sometimes when you wake up and you feel like you're depressed, and you feel like you're sad and you're down, someone else is watching you being inspired before you can even speak, which I think just gives us the greatest gratitude that we can have. Because if you really think about how humble that is, and you can know it and you can live it, that's just going to stretch so far to everybody, and it's just a beautiful thing. If you have anything to add to that, feel free.
Well, a couple things. A couple things make my day. Like, I love the youth. So I love when high school students or middle school students do projects on what I do.
Right.
So right now I'm in the process of a whole Barberton High School class is doing a project. They're solving a problem. It's a business class, and they're solving a problem. I could make up a fake problem, and they get into teams and decide how they are going to solve the problem for Not Just October. Because I went to speak to the same class earlier this year, and I was their favorite speaker, and they got to pick what business they wanted to solve a problem for, and they picked mine. And then I had a high school student tell me that she wants to be like me when she grows up. Like, what? Like, what? And
challenge accepted. Let's go. You got to do this.
And every single day I wake up, no matter what I'm going through, I just know it can always be worse. No matter what it is. If I woke up, I don't care if I don't have any money. I don't care if I'm achy. I don't care if I'm tired. It could always be worse, because there's somebody that's on their deathbed right now or battling a life-threatening disease that wishes they only had those problems that you have. So that definitely keeps me going.
We're being invaded by another country right now.
Yeah.
Prayers for all them affected by what's going on.
Definitely. You might have to get this mask and go over
there. Might not be wrong.
This is a strong mask, though.
Oh, it is. It is. I'm not sure if it's bulletproof, but well, that concludes the podcast. Look forward to the third one.
Hold on. Follow me on Instagram at Not Just October, Facebook at Not Just October, everything notjustoctober.org. Google us, Not Just October. Thank you guys very much for having me. Greatly appreciate it. Shout out to Ariel, my wife, everyone that supports me, my amazing accountant, Arkia, the marketing team, Sierra. We're just going to change the world together. Shout out to Kenny across the street. Shout out to the Live Your Purpose podcast. That's the guy I want you to meet, my friend John. And I'm just looking forward to it. Let's just keep doing good things together and let's change the world.
Amen to that. Got all that? Good. All right.
I want to take a picture. Come take a picture of me in this. I want to take it in front of my green wall.